Hello, this is Roger Weston. One possibility that nobody's discussing is the possibility that these Trump assassins could be Manchurian candidates. Now, admittedly, this is the kind of plot material that you might find in one of my novels, such as The Recruiter. It's based on fact. This is based not current fact. This is based on historical fact. So I'm not saying this is going on. I'm just saying it's one possibility that needs to be looked at, because in fact you've got two somewhat lunatic left-wing assassins. How does that happen, that you get two assassination attempts in a period of 3 months against Donald Trump? How does that happen? Well, it happens because you have two people who snap. They go off the rails, and so you got to ask, well, what happened? What happened to these people? Why are they doing that? Could they be Manchurian candidates? Now, what do I mean by that? Now, there was a movie, an old movie called The Manchurian Candidate, and the plot centers on the Korean War veteran, and it shows a prominent political family where Shah is brainwashed by communists after his army platoon is captured. And he returns to civilian life in the United States, where he becomes an unwitting assassin by an international communist conspiracy. So through brainwashing, this guy is turned into an assassin. Now, that may seem like it came out of a movie, which it did. It came out of The Manchurian Candidate. But where did this come? But is there any possibility that something like that could be going on in the U.S. government, or is this totally made up? Well, actually, MK Ultra was a real program in the CIA, and again, this is all speculative. I'm not saying this is an active program. We don't know. It'd be top secret if it was active. But MK Ultra was a human experimentation program designed and undertaken by the CIA to develop procedures to identify drugs that could be used during interrogations to weaken individuals and force confessions. How? Through brainwashing and psychological torture. Now, they conducted experiments on Americans, and they would reduce these. They would break people down. CIA documents suggest they investigated chemical and biological and radiological methods of mind control as part of MK Ultra. Once MK Ultra started in April 1953, experiments included administering LSD to mental patients, prisoners, drug addicts, and prostitutes, people who could not fight back, as one agency officer put it. So you're taking we're talking about mental patients, drug addicts, prisoners, and prostitutes. We're taking these people who are fringe people. In many cases, they're mentally weak to begin with, and we're putting them on LSD, and you start subjecting people like that to brainwashing. You don't know what's going to happen. How do we know that? Because that's why they were running the experiments, because they didn't know what's going to happen. In one case, they administered LSD to a mental patient in Kentucky for 174 days. Now, you want to talk about altering behavior, that should do it. They exported MK Ultra to Canada. The CIA exported to Canada the Ravenscrest Mental Institution up there, where they took people with minor issues in these mental institutions, and they destroyed them. In addition to LSD, they experimented with various psychoanalytic drugs as well as electroconvulsive therapy. Thank you very much. At 30 to 40 times the normal power. His driving experiment, they're talking about Cameron, the doctor, his driving experiments consisted putting these patients into drug-induced comas for weeks at a time, up to 3 months in one case, while playing tape loops. This is the brainwashing element. Tape loops of noise or simple repetitious statements. His experiments were often carried out on patients who entered the institute for common problems such as anxiety or disorders, or postpartum depression. So you have people going through minor crises, and you break them. You put them through this extreme electroconvulsive therapy and brainwashing techniques. So how could there be a secret program going on like this? and these Trump assassins are like loose ends. It's a theory. Okay, so moving on here. In 1938, LSD was created by Albert Hofmann at Sandoz Laboratories in Switzerland. The early directors of MK became aware of the existence of LSD and sought to use it for mind control. During the hearing by the Senate Health Committee, a testimony by the deputy director of the CIA stated that over 30 institutions and universities were involved in the experimentation program with testing drugs on unknowing citizens. So you test drugs on unknowing citizens, and then they could snap, especially if they're mentally deranged to begin with, and then they're subjected to propaganda that creates paranoia. At all social levels, high and low, the Native Americans informed several tests involving issuing of LSD to subjects unaware in social situations. Now, the Phoenix program was designed initially coordinated by the United States Central Intelligence Agency during the Vietnam War, and this was lasted from 1967 to 1972, designed to identify and destroy the Viet Cong infiltration, assassination, torture, capture, terrorism, and interrogation. So this is an assassination program. Could you combine? What if you combine these two programs? You take MK patients subject to mind control, throw them in a top secret Phoenix program, and cut them loose, or they're just like broken merchandise from the MK Ultra, and then they just snap on their own. Either of those are possibilities. So again, this is speculation, not saying any of this is actually happening, only that it has happened in the past. These are real programs. And when you see two deranged lunatics trying to take out Trump, makes me wonder. Thanks for watching. Signing out. Roger Weston.